Just days after announcing the cancellation of the Constellation class frigate program, word is leaking out that the U.S. Navy has a frigate design it's going to move forward with. This out of the war zone. U.S. Navy now wants a frigate and fast. Canceling the Constellation class has left a glaring gap in the Navy's plans, but it now says it still wants to deliver a frigate by the end of the decade. So what's the plan? In the war zone here, it goes into it a little bit, and you're going to see from the initial photograph. This is the design concept called the Patrol Frigate from Huntington Ingalls Industries. It does look kind of familiar, and it should. The basis of this is the Legend class Coast Guard cutter. When I started looking into the details of this Legend class Coast Guard cutter, you can see that it was designed for expansion. And then when you delve a little bit deeper, and in the Warzone article, it goes into this part right here. We believe that the future frigate can be in the water by 2028, Jason Potter, the official currently performing the duties of Assistant Secretary of Navy for Research, Development, and Acquisition, told attendees at a U.S. Naval Institute's annual Defense Forum, Washington, on Wednesday. We'll be building a frigate. It will be based on an American design, Phelan had said last weekend at Reagan National Defense Forum, according to Defense One. It's something we can build that we think actually will be done before the old Constellation. In addition, Breaking Defense reported that Phelan recently told individuals that at a private dinner that the Legend-class national security cutter developed by U.S. shipbuilder Huntington Ingalls Industries would be the basis of the new frigate, citing two unnamed sources. The outlet said the Navy and Huntington Ingalls Industries declined to comment or deny any connection between national security cutter design and the post-Constellation frigate plans. So nothing public yet. This will be announced. This will absolutely be announced. And looking back, this is an article from 2014. This discusses it's time for a sea control frigate, a vessel based on the national security cutter could offer significant benefits to the Navy. So what we have here, instead of doing the new Constellation class design, they're dusting off an old report from Huntington Ingalls, an old design from Huntington Ingalls, repurposing the Legend class Coast Guard cutter. And when you look at the Coast Guard cutter, it's obviously a very capable ship, but there's certain things that clearly a naval vessel meant for modern combat would have that it does not. First and foremost are the vertical launch missile tubes and adequate air defense. This does go into it. In 2012, Ingalls introduced Patrol Frigate 4921, concept ship with improved weapons and combat systems. It has an upgraded 76mm gun, a new CFAR 4th generation active phased array radar with both hull-mounted sonar and multi-functioning array. Installed behind the main gun on the forecastle is a reserve space, is a 12-cell Mark 56 vertical launch system capable of holding 12 Evolved Sea Sparrow missiles with up to a 30-mile engagement range. In lieu of the Phalanx is a more effective CRAM's close-in weapon systems with 11 RIM 116 rolling airframe missiles. In place of the stern launch ramp is one Mark 32 triple torpedo tube set and 8 Harpoon anti-ship missiles. It supports the SH-60 Light Airborne Multi-System Mark III with either Mark 54 torpedoes or an ASW mission or AGM-114 Hellfires for anti-surface warfare. It has a 45-day endurance and a range of over 8,000 nautical miles at 12 knots. In comparison, the littoral combat ships pale in comparison. Not even worth going through their numbers because they're that pathetic. So the U.S. has a frigate design. The U.S. has been operating this frigate as a Coast Guard cutter for many years. We have 10 of them completed. one of them in building. Just recently, Director of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, canceled the final one of these ships for Homeland Security for the Coast Guard. Well, now we know what it's going to be repurposed as. The designs will be taken out of storage, looked through, updated, modernized. I'm going to assume there will be more than 12 VLS systems on here. And my guess is that they'll be standardized for the SM-3. Probably not a Sea Sparrow. You want to maximize its potential if possible, obviously. So we already have a Coast Guard frigate design. We already have essentially frigates in service. And that's what we're going to be going with, and that's what the announcement will be. In comparison, I just want to bring this up because the Constellation class program was just canceled and was still going to be another 4 years before she actually touched the water. China's new Type 054B frigate exposes U.S. naval inertia. This is an article from January 24th, 2025. And I just want to highlight here this portion. Laid down in 2022 at Hudong Zhongji Shipyard and launched in 2023, the first Type 54B frigate is being followed by a second vessel. And let's just roll down here. It is likely, but an update from the ONI revealed that the plan had 50 class frigates in service. 50. And they're rolling these things off. I did a previous video on this. I was trying to find it. If I can find it, I'll link it up here. They're rolling these things off in about 18 months. From keel to in the water, sea trials are done by 24 months. They're rolling these bad boys out. The only other country that can compete when it comes to frigate construction right now is Japan with the Mogamis. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries is absolutely pounding those things out. But it is reassuring to know that the United States has its own design. Now, whether this is adequate for all of its needs, we will find out. A repurposed Coast Guard cutter, which was, to be fair, initially designed by Huntington Ingalls as a frigate, as a in-between patrol frigate. We'll just call her 4921. Program 4921. The patrol frigate. This is what the United States is going to announce is its new frigate program. I fully support it because it's already designed. Huntington Ingalls already has the upgraded version sitting in its file drawers. All you got to do is change a couple of things here and there. Likely won't have to change anything about the hull or anything like that. Maybe some displacement issues that you can work out. But other than that, off the shelf technology we're already using at a cheaper price. It may not be everything the Navy wants, but it might be the everything the Navy needs. I forget who said that. Some famous rock and roll crooner, I assume. But that's really all I got. I wanted to bring to you that just days after the United States cancels its Constellation class frigate program, it's now pulling out of the file cabinet another program, the Sea Control frigate. And we'll see what happens with that. I appreciate you. Thanks.